And then we cut back to Talos IV. Burnham lands the shuttle, telling Spock that she was going to have a look around. Spock just kind of sits there, kind of like Grandpa in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Burnham grabs go ahead.
At least he didn't start banging his cane on the floor.
Exactly, yeah. Get her, Grandpa. Burnham grabs a phaser pistol and steps out onto the surface. All around her are chiming blue leaf plants in the vicinity. When she touches the leaf, the chiming stops for a moment. Just like Spock did in the cage.
Yep.
She suddenly sees a woman approaching the shuttle and hurries back. When Burnham demands to know who she is, Vina explains that she was an old friend of Captain Pike and asks if he's coming back as well. The Talosians communicate with her psychically, and Vina relates to Burnham to transport herself and Spock below the surface so they could examine him, and Burnham realizes that this is why Spock brought her here in the first place and asks Vina for the coordinates. All right, Chris, we're going to play a game real quick here. I wrote this in the margin of my notes last night. All right, so the three possible answers here are going to be Captain Battelle, number one, and Vina. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. One of them you'll call whenever you're in the galactic neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
One of them you promote to first officer.
Mm-hmm.
And one you abandon on Talos IV. Okay,
you're asking which is which?
Yep. Which one are you going with the full Pike play, or you got a different organization there?
No, that's right.
Yeah. Okay. Me too.
Yeah. That's right.
I was just curious. I was trying to find a radio friendly version of the FMK game.
No, I got you.
Yeah,
it makes sense. Yeah, since we're a semi-family friendly show, you couldn't go with the FMK. I got you.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking. I discovered that the woman that plays Captain Battelle is also the actress that played Winona Earp on that show, because I didn't know where the actress came from, so I looked her up last night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Beaming into the Talosians' refuge, Burnham is surprised to see Vina walk up to them and asks if she's real, to which the Keeper answers that she's very real, and he materializes with two other Talosians. The Keeper apologizes for the difficulty entering the atmosphere, as the illusion was their best defense. Burnham asks him, what's up with all the telepathy, and the Keeper's like, okay, fine, we'll talk with our mouths then. Burnham then asks why Spock would risk their lives coming here, and then scanning him telepathically, another Talosian says that Spock is experiencing time as a fluid rather than linear construct.
That's gotta be a weird experience.
I would think so, and that conventional logic is unable to help him interpret such an experience. Now, would this apply to things that haven't happened to him yet?
No, because if you're experiencing time fluidly, everything has happened to you.
Right? Kind of like in Dune, right? Where it's like everything is available and you can see it all.
Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff, man. That's all that is.
Exactly. Burnham realizes that Spock knew the Talosians could help him, and the Keeper confirms that Spock knew conventional medicine would be unable to help, and that if the variants continued, he would lose his mind permanently.
I guess so, man. I cannot imagine if a real human ever got in a situation like that where they, I guess he's experiencing all of time all at the same time.
All at the same time, or that's what it would have to be. You're out of order. Pieces are coming here and there.
Yeah.
Kind of like Dr. Manhattan, I think, where you experience everything simultaneously, so you don't know if you're in the future or the past or the present.
Yeah, it's kind of like, one of the books I've read recently this year was about time travel, and like one of the characters jumps back and forth through time and is basically like, one of the other characters asks, when's your birthday? How old are you? And she's like, I actually have no idea because of the way that I travel time. I'm probably like 22.
When is now? Yeah, that was always like on Doctor Who, like realizing that even though only a couple of years that had gone by, Amy and Rory had aged like 12 years because that's how much time they'd been actually running around for.
Yeah.
But when they were in the present, it was only like a couple of years.
Yeah, it makes sense too that he's, traveling through space and time, probably close to the speed of light.
Mm-hmm.
So
you keep coming back to when you left or right after you left.
Yeah.
So you could be gone for 6 months and then, boom, you're right back where you were.
The next day.
Yep. When Burnham asks how this change of experience could have happened, the Keeper replies that it would be easier to show her his thoughts rather than explain it, and asks for something in return. The memories of what caused the rift between Spock and Burnham on Vulcan. The full experience of their childhood conflict. It's a weird voyeuristic thing there, isn't it? It doesn't sound unlike the Talosians. It just seems like a weird focus.
Well, they have been around humans that we know of, so adding a Vulcan into the mix was probably intellectually curious for them.
That could be, huh? Yeah.
I mean, that's my headcanon on why they would care about that.
No, I can totally see that, because they're still zookeepers, basically, or at least that's their focus.
Yeah, and plus seeing how humans and Vulcans interact with each other, especially during conflict, would probably be, I don't know,
interesting or entertaining.
Yeah, at least that, for sure.
Yeah. The Keeper explains that this was how they understood and how they had survived. So I guess by experiencing other creatures, things, I guess this is how they managed to survive. So apparently, like all the other creatures they've been kidnapping and trying to make slave races out of, they also been using to figure out how to get along, apparently.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And then Michael Burnham bluntly replies, well, you should survive another way.
If only it were that easy. Yeah. Like we never thought of that before. Come on.
Oh, that's the first time that's come up.
See how big my head is? That means my brain is way bigger than yours.
The third Talosian explains that there was no other way to save Spock's sanity. Vina advises Burnham not to resist. The Talosians dive deeply into our minds, our hopes, our memories, our fears, and even our dreams. One of the Talosians removes the illusion of Vina's youth and beauty, showing her to be scarred and deformed.
Yeah.
So I remember when this episode came out, a lot of people, afterwards, when she gets her illusion of youth and beauty back, she does like a little turn and says, this is as real as it gets. All these people on YouTube were saying she was pointing at her chest, as if she was talking about like having a boob job, which was one of the dumbest, stupidest misinterpretations of a scene I've ever come across.
Well, we live in the day and age where being how offended you can be is like a game.
Yeah, this is true.
Let's see who can be the most offended. And since there isn't much here, let me take this one thing out of I won't say out of context, but let me purposefully misinterpret this thing so I can feel offended about this episode.
Yeah, the stuff that people will do to irritate themselves just drives me nuts at times,
Yeah.
Yeah, see, she explains that this is how the Talosians found her, and gave her a choice, live as she was now, or as she had been before. To save Spock's mind, the Talosians would have to disengage him from logic, but Burnham must be the one who pays the price. The Keeper asks if they may watch Burnham relive the memory, and Burnham reluctantly concedes, but demands to see Spock's mind first. You show me yours, I'll show you mine. That's what that's the agreement she's agreeing to here.
They're not blood related, so yeah, we're good here.
Not that big a deal, I guess. Within his memory, Spock explains to Burnham that he had begun the night she had run away, braving the dangers of the forests of Vulcan's Forge. That was when the Red Angel had appeared to him the first time. He had thought it was a dream or a premonition because the angel had shown him Burnham's death, killed by a beast of the wild. Spock went to Sarek, and Amanda explained where he had seen her and where she would be, and this allowed Sarek to go and rescue her. Spock performed a mind meld with the angel, showing him the red bursts and the powerful projectiles causing devastation on numerous planets. So Spock gets a vision of something wiping out all life on Earth, Tellar, Andor, and I think there was a fourth planet. So
yeah, I don't recall.
Yeah, so she passes out just from like the brain tidal wave she just got there,
Yeah, she's just getting a small peek into what's going on with Spock right now, and it's almost devastating, mentally
overwhelming.
Yeah, that's a better word, overwhelming.
Yeah.
So you can only imagine like what's happening in Spock's mind at this point.
Exactly. He's flipped his katra. He's seen so much.